Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
Let's start last night. So last night the House voted on a spending bill for the military.
Yep.
Something that's been done for decades and decades and decades. Something that has never been political or partisan. And last night the House Republicans decided to just chock it full of culture war issues.
Yep.
And so these include things like, Biden put in place protections for right to abortion for members of the military. If they were in a state where it was illegal, they could go to another state where it was legal to have an abortion performed if they needed one. They have decided that they no longer want to fund any surgeries for transgender or trans care, gender affirming surgery, and they also want to strip funding from diversity, equity, and inclusion training programs.
Yeah.
And it seems like some of the some Republicans need some diversity training or inclusive training. Let's do clip number 16. This is Representative Eli Crane, and I feel like you're already at a disadvantage if your name is Eli.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you've just kind of like it might be assumed that you might be a little bit racist, but then he went and said something like this.
Oh, this is the guy from Arizona.
Yeah, the guy from Arizona.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is a clip Eli Crane in clip 16.
My amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with color of your skin, any of that stuff. What we want to preserve and maintain is the fact that our military does not become a social experiment.
I mean, by definition, the military is a social experiment. You're taking people from all over the country and putting them together, and they are working together. People who come from different backgrounds to join the military and defend this country. So that and the fact that he used Representative Joyce Beatty from great Democrat, she had some thoughts on this one.
Mr. Speaker, asking to be recognized to have the words colored people.
For what purposes does gentlelady seek recognition?
I'd like to be recognized to have the words colored people stricken from the record. I find it offensive and very inappropriate.
Is the gentlelady asking for unanimous consent to take down the words?
I am asking for unanimous consent to take down the words of referring to me or any of my colleagues as colored people.
Yeah. Fair. Completely fair.
Yeah, and if you were watching the video of it, there was a person sitting behind Eli Crane, and as soon as he said colored people, the guy went,
yeah.
What? Really?
There's a little shocked response there. It takes the wind out of you. You know, they keep talking about how, we're not racist, and then you see blatant racism on the floor there. This is what the Republican Party has become, and this bill has no chance of making it through the Senate. And this is the first time in, I believe it was 6 decades. Pete Aguilar last night was talking about this, and he said that this is the first time he is ever going to be a no vote on a defense spending bill.
Okay.
Because of all of the things that they have put into this. And they were talking about in the news this morning, Republicans who are coming from districts that Joe Biden won voted on the abortion ban. Right. These people their seats are gone. Their chances of getting reelected in those districts, I think, just went down to 0. So, if this is the fight that they want to have, the American people aren't on their side. We've seen this, and even Kansas didn't want to have an abortion ban in their state. They came out and voted against that. So I don't think this is a very smart move for Republicans right now.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, it needs to get through the Senate too, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, no. And the Senate has their own version of the bill, and they'll be like I believe it's they'll have a conference process to work it out. Yep. So none of this stuff is going to actually make it the final bill that goes to Biden's desk. But that's the game that Republicans want to play. Let's go to the phone lines right now. Let's go to Nat in Chicago. Nat, are you there with us?
Good morning. I'm sorry I tried to get on earlier in the week, but it's been very hard. First of all, Stephanie, I am so sorry to hear about your mother. Hugs and love for you all. In terms of Travis, I'm glad you're back, and we will miss you when you leave in approximately 37 minutes.
No.
I'm here next week.
Yeah. There was some chatter online that today was Travis's last name. That's not the case.
I am still here next week. Chris will not be here next week.
Right. I'm on vacation next week. This was planned a
Well,
while
Chris,
ago.
I hope you enjoy going back to Palm Springs.
I'm not really
You
going
feel very
anywhere,
bad.
but thank you.
And I hope you enjoy your time at the casino. Jody, congratulations on your new role. And just everybody, please be safe and please hug your parents if you have them, because they're only here for a short time and you are here for a long time. So tell your parents you love them.
Thank you so much. Now we appreciate that. Yeah, I you guys know this. I literally the first thing I do when I leave here is I get in the car and I call my mom and talk to her on the drive home, and I talk to her again in the afternoon. Keep those people that you love closest to you. Okay.
Got to make sure Mom can move that wood-burning stove.
Oh my God! She moved a refrigerator. No, I'm not kidding. My mom.
I believe it.
She first she says, "Don't be mad at me," and I'm like thinking to myself, "Oh God, what have you done now?" Her refrigerator that people have refrigerators in their garage to keep stuff.
Yeah.
So
the spare refrigerator, it's usually the old refrigerator that you move to the garage to keep.
That one
sodas in or whatever.
She's like, "Oh, I think it's going out. I'm gonna get a new one." So she got a new one to put in the garage, and she had the old one plugged in as she was transferring stuff, and she's like, "Oh, it's still working." She moved it to the back patio and plugged it in.
Okay.
So now there's a working fridge on the back patio as well as one in the garage.
In case you want to grab a brewski when you're sitting outside and on the patio.
I don't know how it's going to fare this weekend when it gets to 115 in Fresno on that patio. But she did put strawberries in there so she could make me some strawberry jam. So,
okay.
Hey.
Well, you're not supposed to refrigerate strawberries.
They were like fresh ripe strawberries, and she just wanted to keep them cool.
Okay.
And the jam's already been made. It was like they were in there for like less than a day.
Got it.
It was just a 24-hour thing. But yeah, so she says to me, I'm going to be I moved the refrigerator, and I couldn't go through the garage door because it was too big, so I had to take it out the front of the garage.
And around the side of the house.
Around the side of the house.
Oh, no.
My 77-year-old mom.
She's a farmhand.
Moved a refrigerator.
She's a farmhand.
By herself.
You grew up on a farm.
I know, but still.
I mean, did she do tilling?
Oh yeah. Oh, she has a push lawnmower. She has 2.5 acres that she gets on a riding lawnmower.
Does she thresh?
And mows. No.
Okay.
No, she does not thresh. Although she did trim some leaves or some branches out of the oak tree in the front yard, and I'm like, you were holding a chainsaw, Mom.
Mm-hmm. I can totally see your mom with a chainsaw.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen my mom with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to work a chainsaw.
Well, you've been cityfied.
I'm a city boy.
Yeah, you're cityfied.
I moved. I left the country at 18 to get out of there.
You left it on purpose.
Oh yeah, there's a reason why I left the country. But yeah, no, Mom, love her. We all love our parents though, like that. So that's all right. Let's go to the phone lines again. Let's go with Norman in Woodstock, Illinois. Norman, what do you want to say?
Good morning. I wanted to say first of all, condolences to Steffi. I've been through that myself. My parents died 20 years apart, and I just lost my sister-in-law this last week. It's getting close.
Yeah.
Time is getting close.
Sure. Yeah. And the older you get, the more of your friends.
Yeah.
I want to say one other thing about Tommy Tubeless Tire.
Yes.
You know who that is?
Sure. Yes.
That a-hole that's telling people that they can't get military service appointments until we stop allowing abortions in the Army. Give me a break. These are people. Yeah. These are people. They make a mistake, get in trouble, and then the Army will do everything that they can to discredit them. Get the hell out of the.
Yep. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Norman. We appreciate that. And speaking of Tommy Tuberville, Biden was in Finland yesterday,
right?
And on the world stage got questions about this. Let's play clip number 3. Oh.
Would you be willing to talk with Tuberville to try to work out some solution?
I'd be willing to talk to him if I thought there was any possibility of him changing this ridiculous position he has. He's jeopardizing U.S. security by what he's doing. I expect the Republican Party to stand up, and do something about it. They've in their power to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and he went on to say in clip number 4,
the idea that we're injecting into fundamental foreign policy decisions what in fact as a domestic social debate on social issues is bizarre. I don't ever recall that happening, ever. And it's just totally irresponsible in my view. And I just think that, I'm confident that the mainstream of the Republican Party no longer does not support what he's doing. But they got to stand up and be counted. That's how it ends.
And unfortunately, in the House last night, they stood up and they were counted on this very issue.
Yeah.
And the House Republicans decided to side with Tuberville, which is going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Tuberville did respond to this question in clip number 5.
It doesn't sound like anybody that wants to sit down and visit and work a problem out. It sounds like somebody that wants to argue about it. I'm not in this to argue. I'm just in this to try to be fair and do what's right, and go by the law, by the Constitution. He can call me everything he wants.
There's
that's what you do on Capitol Hill. You argue.
Yeah.
Your point.
And
you're not in this to argue, then you probably shouldn't be on Capitol Hill, dude.
Tommy Tuberville is there to cause problems, is what he's there for. We'll see what happens when this bill gets to the Senate, because they're gonna. I don't see this working out the way they want to, and it's gonna be interesting because I believe the House will do a full vote on this. Everything that we saw last night, all those votes last night were on amendments to the bill.
Right.
The actual bill will be voted on in the House today, so it'll be interesting to see where Republicans come down on the funding bill today, and it's going to be interesting to see how many Democrats do or do not back it. I think there's going to be a big push from the Democratic Party on this one, and they're not going to vote on this for the first time in a long time.
Right.
There it is, my first drink of the day, Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And Z-Biotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine, I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.